Welcome to Make Room with Emjae. Today I am so honored. My special guest is public figure Sheryl Renee, who is a phenomenal vocalist, award-winning actress, entertainer, producer, entrepreneur of several businesses, radio personality, producing her own talk radio show. Cheryl is also known as the lady with the golden voice. Sheryl Renee, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me today.
Oh, I'm to be with you. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you. So just to start off, you are such a gifted, talented individual. So kind of share with us your authentic journey of your different talents, of how you got started to where you are today.
Okay, well, I was born to two incredibly gifted vocalist parents, and was raised in the music business and around the music business. Of course, did the whole thing in school. I was in choir and being raised in Colorado, I was raised in a multicultural environment, and I was also raised on Top 40 radio. So I attribute that to my eclectic taste in music and my desire and ability to just sing it all. In school was in a group called the Council for Self-Development Performers, where I learned really how the vocal performance, what to do on stage, how to handle a microphone, whatnot. So when I graduated from high school, I got a job at Mountain Bell. It was then called Mountain Bell. And I really didn't want to be in the music business. I really didn't, just because it's so hard.
Yeah.
Much lack, and I just attributed it. But it became real clear to me after about a year or two that I love the applause and the reactions to using my gifts and talents more than I feared the business. So when I was about 20, 21 years old, I started singing with an orchestra here in town called Moment's Notice Orchestra. And then I got into musical theater, I had my first production when I was 17, when I graduated from high school, and just stuck with it all and just jumped anywhere anybody asked me to participate. I went for it.
That is so beautiful. So do you ever, or I don't know, maybe when you first started, or do you even now have fear before your performance, or you just like, I got this?
Absolutely, always.
Yeah. I always wonder if that ever goes away, but
I've heard people say, that for them, they don't get nervous anymore. But I, to this day, no matter who my audience is, when I lived in Georgia, I taught seatbelt safety to children. I had a whole crusade. We won an award for it, but I would get just as nervous singing for those little 4-year-old kids. As I, and I'm in the stadium, about to sing in front of 1,000 people. So, I think it keeps you on your toes. The butterflies keep you on your toes, I think, for me anyway.
Yeah. And hopefully help keep you modest too, So you're being extremely modest, because you have won so many awards and accolades. You've been singing the national anthem for the Nuggets for 21 years now? So.
Yeah, the sports organizations here in town. Then when I moved to Atlanta, sang for those organizations and corporations and. But the biggest opportunity came when then Governor John Hickenlooper nominated me to sing the national anthem for President Obama when he signed the economic stimulus bill. And there were 3 candidates up for it, and I got it. And it was, it truly was the career highlight of my life.
Oh, was that like probably the most memorable moment of your journey, or?
Was just the opportunity and how it came about, and just having that chance to be in that room with all of the dignitaries that were there and to sing the national anthem, and then to meet President Obama and Vice President Biden, get a chance to shake their hands and say hello, and you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then too, you had a very memorable moment, I'm sure, when you were singing the national anthem, I believe the night that Kobe Bryant passed. Is that correct?
Yes, this year, I think it was the 26th of January, 2020. I was there at the stadium. You know, you have to get there a couple of hours early for your sound check. And we were sitting waiting to go on, and then there was this buzz, and I looked at my phone and the announcement came about Kobe's helicopter going down. At that point, that's all we knew, was that his helicopter had gone down. But then the team at the Pepsi Center, now they're scrambling. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna say? So just within a span of like 30 minutes, they changed the whole format to put this presentation together for Kobe.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, I've sung at a lot of funerals and memorial services.
Yeah.
Be in that arena, hurting, it was powerful. It was very powerful. And I count myself blessed that I was there at that time, at that moment, at the stadium, to just share that pain with all of those people in that room.
Yes. Yeah. That's amazing, and such a memorable moment, I'm sure, that you'll never forget. That's just amazing. And I'm sure you just knocked it out the park singing that anthem as well, as you always do. So
it's videotaped. I actually produced my own little video that I put up on YouTube. I was nervous. You know, I was nervous, and I actually stopped myself right before I sang just to compose myself a little bit, you know what I mean? So I could get through the song, because I was fighting tears the entire time. Yeah, it was emotional.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, also, Cheryl, Renee, I don't know if you still do, well, probably not now with the COVID, but you were doing dinner plays, and you do commercials, voiceovers. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You're just a phenomenal person, and I truly admire you for all your gifts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know, I am a session vocalist, and I have a recording session tomorrow. And so things are slowly coming back in. You know, we're going in with our hand sanitizer, with our disinfectant, you know. I guess all you can do is be as careful as you can be, you know what I mean? But everything just came to a halt with COVID-19. And then I just had to, well, first I got sick. I got really sick in March. So once my body began healing and I could like come out of it, I just had to start leaning on some other gifts and talents, you know, that I have. Web design that I can do from home on the computer. And now a little bit more, I'm also an interior redesigner, and I have a called Affordable Room Makeovers. And so that's starting to pick up a little bit, but all of it is, you know, a little trepidation with all of it, you know, get back out there.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, definitely understandable. But look how now you've been able to tap into some new gifts or gifts that's been there waiting to explode. I'm not sure.
Yes. Kind of need it all, being I was an entrepreneur for 36 years before I got a full-time job, in which I got a job running the field house on Federal Boulevard, and I did that for 2.5 years. Managed it along with the owner. We completely revised that business inside, outside, refurbishing, redecorating, you know, just putting the business on its feet. And I learned so much. It really felt like I was in college.
Really?
Yeah, because I learned so much about all aspects of running a business, you know, from somebody who was so legit, because the lady who owned the venue was all about having her I's dotted and her T's crossed, you know, and, you know, I'm so used to throwing things together.
Yes.
show. I'm gonna write the script. I'm gonna get it on stage. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Working with her, I got a real chance at, you know, what it really takes to run and maintain a business, you know. So it all gets thrown in the pot, you know, and just another way to survive in this system, you know.
Sure, sure. Well, you know what's funny? When I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, I worked a part-time job for a real estate agent, and she was so particular, just like you were speaking of, dotting the I's, making sure the T's are crossed. And she got on my nerve, but I learned so much from her, you know, and till this day, I still hear her voice in my ear, you know, make sure you check this and check that.
You know, the running of this podcast and everything. I mean, it's just so professional. It's running excellence, everything that you're doing. And so you can tell that you know what I mean, that you did take from that. And, you know, and I can't say that she didn't get on my nerves a couple of times, but you know what, at the end, it's all about leaving a situation and looking back and saying, what can I take from that? You know?
Yes.
Here's some things that I can't use, but here's some things that I can, you know.
Exactly.
Growing and evolving.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like every situation, every journey, there's something for you to learn, you know, always. So very good. So I was reviewing your beautiful website and that you designed yourself, and make sure you guys go to SherylRenee.com. Beautiful website. But you have a statement on there that says, singing is my gift, but I'm a true entrepreneur who pursues all my passion projects. What does that mean to you?
There's no doubt about it. And I've had pastors tell me, no, it's not a gift, it's a talent. But for me, the music and the creative spirit is a gift from God. It kept me and sustained me through so much in my life that could have derailed me, could have, you know what I mean? But God was always there, and people are always there to reinforce me. This is a gift you have. You touch me, you bless me, you know what I mean? So that is my gift. My talent is the web designing. My talent is interior redesign. My talent are the other things that I do, you know, to bring income into my life, you know. But there's no doubt about it that God gave me the gift of song.
Yeah.
And, you know, and with it, I've been able to bless my life. I raised 3 daughters, you know what I mean? And I have been able to bless a lot of people with opportunities, with work, you know. So it feels good to me that when my life is over, I can say I used everything he gave me. I can say I used everything he gave me.
Wow, and that's a beautiful thing, because how many people have gone to their grave and never tapped into any of their gifts or talents? So.
Yes, yes.
So beautiful. So also I noticed on your website, there was another statement that stood out to me. It says, your greatest joy is providing opportunities for others while introducing extraordinary talent. So how have you provided opportunities for others? How does it bring you joy? And when do you recognize that extraordinary talent?
Through the production side of Sheryl Renee Productions, SR Productions. I co-wrote a play with Coco Brown called Sisters and Storytellers. And we mounted that play twice here, a cast of 6 women, a band, you know, stage managers, whatnot. Then we took it to Maui. We took it on the road, you know what I mean? And just, I used to work quite a bit with choirs and just all of the things, you know, when you create something, you're collaborating with other people, whether I'm in the studio, whether I'm also like in a bluegrass rock band, and you know what I mean? And you meet people and doors get opened for you, and then you open the door for others to come through. And that's what it's all about. You know, I've always been the kind of person that would share my stage, you know, invite people, oh, you sing, come up and sing something, you know, and that's how you find the talent. That's how you find the talent, you know. I know some extraordinarily talented entertainers and singers here. in Colorado. And I wish I had the opportunity to introduce them to the world, to do more, you know. But I've brought friends in. I produced a show and brought my friend Rome Neal in from New York City, and he did a piece called Monk, about Thelonious Monk. I brought the Wilborn sisters in from Atlanta, Georgia, here to do a fashion show in 2018. And, you know, Frida Payne, I work with Frida, by Frida to Maui. And, you know, just any chance that I get to say, you know, I like being behind the stage too, I guess is what I'm saying. I like being behind the scenes as well as being on stage. I like producing. I like, you know, I like the production side of my career as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've done like an amazing tribute to legendary artists. What inspired you to do that? You know, it's just amazing.
I was in Georgia, and we did, for the United Negro College Fund, we started doing a tribute show with Rivers Productions, Don Rivers, and it was just so well received. And I thought, you know, when I moved back home in 2001, I just thought, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to pay homage to these artists who have meant so much to me, you know, but also with my show, Salute to the Legend, I sang the song, but I also gave them some historical content. So we always did the songs, you know, in order from how they were, the time that they were released, chronological order. And then I would tell stories about them. And it just, I did it in probably 7 different venues here in Colorado between 2001 and 2011 when I moved to New York City. And in those, I had the most success at Live at Jack's, I gotta say, with Sandra Watts. The show really evolved there, you know, to where I was doing costumes and just everything, you know. It went from just singing these songs to, you know, hey, let's do this, let's add this, let's get this. So it was a very, very successful thing to me. And I produced my own CD, Sheryl, Renee, and her Salute to the Legends, in which I featured 12 of the people who I really, really loved and who touched my life in a certain way in the 1970s. And that CD I offer for free on my website, a free download.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And how did the opportunity open up for you in Maui? Because you took your
oh my
there.
I've been to Maui now. I exchanged vows in Maui last year, but I have sung on Maui and produced on Maui. I'm going back in November. This will be my 15th trip to Maui. I just have a connection there. I'll tell you what, I always loved Hawaii. Elvis Presley, Hawaii Five-0. I was always drawn to Hawaii, but then my Aunt Debbie and her husband went every year. And so in 1998, a mentor of mine gave a conference. So she had a beginning of the year meeting, conference, a get together, you know, motivational get together. And her homework was, what do you want to be? Where do you want to be New Year's Eve the coming year? Well, I knew I always wanted to go to Maui. I always went, well, it's in the United States. I didn't have to have a passport. I didn't have to have any shots. It's a tropical area. You know, there was a lot of things drawing me there. But she said, okay, you got to believe it. We made vision boards. You got to talk about it. You got to claim it. The power of visualization. And so you got to talk about it. You got to be about it. If anybody says, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And you can prove to yourself that you can manifest these things. So I was all about it. I told everybody I'm going to be in Maui for New Year's Eve. Well, I was flying to Chicago and I sat next to a gentleman on the plane, and he and I were born the same year. We talked the entire trip. It was just a good flight. And I was telling him about how I was claiming that I was going to be in Hawaii, Maui, Hawaii for New Year's Eve. I didn't know how. Well, when we got off the plane, he handed me his business card and he says, give me a call. I'm going to give you that ticket to Maui.
Gosh.
it was the whole Y2K thing. And Butch was flying from town to town to town, city to city to city, at least 4 to 5 days a week, working on people's computers. He had built up incredible mileage, free mileage. He gave me the ticket. I ended up being in Maui for New Year's Eve that year, 1998. And while I'm there, I met the head of the Arts Education for Children's group. And that organization, that nonprofit has brought me back all of these years I've brought every project. I mentioned that I taught children seatbelt safety. That was my first show I brought there, and we went to all of the preschools on the island and talked to the kids, and I've brought groups there, and I've just gone myself and worked with the incredible musicians on the Maui. But it's like my second home now, and with my friends and my connections there and whatnot. So I really, really love it.
Yeah, that's an amazing story of faith, really.
It's about faith, isn't it? That's the bottom line. Just having faith, and also just a power that we haven't even tapped into, that we don't even understand, but we understand it in terms of the power of prayer, that we can focus on a thing, and we can focus on an individual, on a situation, and the energies that we're putting out towards that, we know that it works. Or I know that it works. I believe in the power of the prayer. So to me, manifestation, visualization, all of that all falls under the same umbrella. It's tapping into our hearts and our souls and our minds and focusing on a thing, you know what I mean? And what you put your energy into is what comes back, which is why I'm happy that I'm an optimistic person, you know what I mean? Because I do think it makes a difference.
It does. It does. I mean, that positive energy that you put out, what is it? I like to say your vibe is your tribe. Those are the type of people you're going to attract as well, so.
Yes.
So who is your favorite singer and why?
Who is my favorite singer? If I have a favorite singer, it's so hard for me to say one singer. I would say Ella Fitzgerald.
Yes.
You have to say Ella. I do, and I can't really call it an impersonation. I do an impression of Ella Fitzgerald, and I have videos online of myself dressed as Ella and scatting as Ella and doing all of that. But the truth is that I have nowhere near her gift scatting, but I can copy. I worked very hard to copy her technique in that way that I could present it to a crowd. But she was just a phenomenal vocalist, and the training that she got touring with those orchestras, and then, the horn sections, and just her blending in and becoming a human horn player, basically, with her vocal cords and the things that she could do. I admire her very, very much. Also, Aretha Franklin. I gotta say, Aretha, her early stuff. Aretha, once she went to Muscle Shoals and she found her style and her sound. I mean, those records can make me cry. And it's very few records that can make me cry, but early Aretha can make me cry, just the emotion that she put into her music,
Yeah. Awesome heroes, actually, to admire after, definitely. What is your go-to song that empowers you or encourages you, when you need it?
Well, I have to say that my go-to song is probably Someday We'll All Be Free by Donny Hathaway.
How does that go, Cheryl Renee?
Okay, it goes like, hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you will last. Keep your self-respect, your manly pride. Get yourself in gear, keep in stride. Never mind your fears, 'cause brighter days will soon be here. Oh yes, take it from me. Someday we'll all be free.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You're definitely the lady with the golden voice.
Well, there's so much meaning in that song, and the message is really for everybody, you know what I mean? It's for our people, but it's really for everybody, you know? Someday we'll all be free. And then what is freedom for different people? Does that mean one day we'll be free to go to heaven, or one day we'll be free to live our lives without restriction, or, what does it mean? But he's another singer can make me cry.
Most definitely. Oh my goodness. So Cheryl Renee, what do you feel that's been most challenging along your journey for you?
What has been most challenging for me is just trying to fit in. I just, you talked about your vibe is your tribe. I just feel like I've spent most of my life trying to find my tribe. I was born in 1962 in the midst of the civil rights movement, and dealt with all the things that go with that. Racism, definitely dealt with colorism, which was very painful for me when I was growing up. So I was drawn to people who were drawn to me. You know what I mean? Drawn to people who, I smiled a lot. I was born with the joy because I have a letter from my auntie talking about I was the happiest baby. I love saying thank you. You know what I mean? So God gave me a joy, just trying to fit in. I had my first child at age 20. I didn't get a formal education, just trying to fit in with people who wouldn't judge me for who I was, but would it actually accept me for who I was,
Yeah.
Not judge me, but accept me, and I think that has probably been, I think that's probably, I'm a, abuse survivor as a child, and just the things that I went, just trying to find people that you can trust to be around, to find your tribe,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's easier said than done, actually, because it's hard to find those people that you can trust and that truly has your back or supports you. There's very few far and in between, I would have to say.
And that I've met so many people. I've met so many fantastic people, but I also think I spent a lot of years trying to fit in with people that really didn't, want me around, or, I just in hindsight, and again, I want to stay positive with it, but I just think I wasted a lot of time trying to fit in.
Sure.
I feel so good at this age. God willing, I'll be 58 here in a couple of months, and I'm with the love of my life. I'm just with someone that's so good and so loving and so positive, and it's brought so much good. But life always brings the bitter with the sweet. But I can honestly say that towards the end of my life, I did get a chance to actually meet my soulmate, or so I don't have any complaint. In answer to your question, I think just trying to fit in.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think a lot of people struggle with that, even me. Really, here I am older too, and it's just like still trying to figure out, what do I want to be when I grow up, basically, so still trying to figure it out. And what a wonderful blessing for you to have met your soulmate. That is such a difficult thing, and just to be able to know that without a doubt and feel that love is just wonderful. Beautiful.
Yes, it is. I didn't know if I would, but it was my most fervent prayer. But of course, when you pray for a thing, you're going to always have some pushback from whatever it is, the life energy, the enemy, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
I can honestly leave this planet today. And then when I was sick with March, I had to really look at it, because I didn't, when I got sick, I didn't know if I would make it, but I could honestly say, you know, I could leave and feel really good about my life. I raised my kids. I have grandbabies who I love with my whole heart and soul. You know what I mean? I've had a beautiful career. I've traveled. I've done everything anybody could ever want. You know what I mean? As far as a music career and an entertainment career, and not saying that I'm always open for more, but I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Peace in my life. I'm at peace. You know what I mean? I actually put my will together, So, when you're really thinking about your life, when you sit down and actually put your life to paper, you know what I mean? To say what it is, but I'm at peace with my life. I wouldn't wish some of the things I've been through, or some of the things I wouldn't wish on an enemy, you know what I mean? But God gave me a gift. He gave me the gift of song, and my God, the doors it has opened, the people that I've met, Quincy Jones, Oprah Winfrey, sang for the president. I literally, if I made a list of all of the celebrities that I have had a chance to say hello to and be in the room with, dignitaries, and even just good people. When I lived in the South, I love the South because I love the Southern soul. I love that I love meeting down home people. You know what I mean? Just good people. Oh my God, I've had such a wonderful life. You know what I mean? And the sweet is definitely bigger than the bitter for me at this point in my life.
Wow, that's beautiful, Cheryl Renee, because so many people search and look for that peace, and for you to be able to say you found it, you have it. That's a gem. That's something that people never find, that seem to search for. And that's just so beautiful, I feel like. And, one of my questions was, and I feel like you've done it all, but is there anything that you wish that you had or had done that you haven't done yet?
Is there anything that I wish that no. No. I know that every day something comes through either my email or my phone, an opportunity. Oh, sure, yeah, I'll do that. You know what I mean? But as far as, do I wish that I could travel here? No, I don't. I'm a person with this HD TV, honey. I'm happy to look at the different countries on my TV and see everything without having to deal with the mosquitoes and the shots. And I'm a simple person, I just feel like because of technology, we have been given the world. We literally, I can go and right now tap in any country that I want to go to right now. I can see it in the most magnificent color. I can hear the people talk. I can go to Google. If I want to talk a different language, I can type in and it will tell me exactly how. I mean, we are living in an age where I have no reason to complain.
You're so right. Technology is limitless, honestly. And like you said, there's nothing you could truly miss out on with all this technology that we have today.
Not produce my own CD in the studio. I produce my own videos. I do social media marketing. Everything that I need to do, I can do from my little studio, from right here in the house. You know what I mean? It's like, so, there's no album. I don't think people even buy music anymore. I don't know what's going on. The record industry has changed so much. So I have no aspirations as far as that goes, as far as recording. And, I'm always happy to have opportunities, but I don't aspire to it anymore. The music industry has changed so much. And then now after COVID, we don't know how it's going to play out, So I'm grateful for all of my gifts and talents, because that's what I'm leaning on now, my other talents. And
yeah. No, that's beautiful. What type of singer would you classify yourself as? Because you have such a wide range.
I think, and because I sing so many different styles of music, I would call myself a soul singer. soul in that I love R&B. I really sing from the soul. I strive for perfection. That don't mean I don't hit a couple of eggs every now and then, you know. But I strive for perfection, you know, and it does come from my soul. I really, really love it. I love singing. So I would say I would be classified as a soul singer.
All right. I think that takes care of it all there. That's awesome. So, like, do you have a favorite venue that you like to perform at?
Well, it's so funny because both of my favorite venues in Colorado are now closed. Live at Jack's
Yeah.
was my venue in town, and then the Dillon Amphitheater that used to sit right on the lake. Well, they moved it. And so it's no longer, you know, I'm not saying that I don't even know if that stage is still there anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, I was blessed to sing at Red Rocks, and I got to sing 3 times, you know, in my career. I got to sing at Red Rocks. I got to go. They've got a room. Well, it's like a passageway where all of the famous people have signed, and so my signature is in there. So I can leave tomorrow, but I got to sign all at Red Rocks, you know. So yeah, you know, I think those 3 are probably my favorite venues.
Nice. Nice. So, as far as the venues, do you like have a favorite song that you like to perform on stage?
You know, I can't really say I do. I love the song Everything Must Change. Okay, here's the thing. I literally have thousands of songs in my head, and I have 20 favorite songs. That'll tell you how ridiculous it is. I can't really narrow it down. Like even that Someday We'll All Be Free, you know, that's on my list of 20. You know, but so is Imagine, so is Everything Must Change, so is, you know what I mean? It's like I could go down, you know, the list of songs that I love, but there's just so much music. There's so much music, and I sing gospel, I sing jazz, I sing inspirational, I sing rock, I sing pop, I sing top 40, I sing R&B, I sing some country. I mean, you know, there is so much. There's so much fabulous music out here, you know.
Yeah, that is so true. That's so true. So success doesn't always equal happiness. What equates happiness to you?
Peace of mind, you know. When I was, this is just a little story. My mother sent us to live with my father when I was 12 or 13 years old. And, you know, life had always really been a struggle for my mom. You know, she was in the clubs, my father was in the church. But he had this home that was so fabulous, but there was no peace. There was no peace in his home. And so for me, and I think that's another reason why I got into the interior redesign and why I love going and helping people, you know, flip their homes and make their homes what they want, because that's the thing that I want. I want peace in my home, you know, and I want peace of mind, you know. I want to be able to go to sleep and feel good about, you know what I mean, where I am and how I'm living my life. And, you know, so I would definitely say peace of mind.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's for me too. If I don't have my peace, everything is just chaotic. I have to have peace in all aspects of my life. So, and really the only peace I get it from is from God, you know, who can give that true inner peace.
Girl, I know what, and I know I have friends who are agnostics and who, you know what I mean, that don't believe. And it's like, I just cannot imagine being on this planet and not having that source, not having God and being able to lean on and call on. It is a wonderful piece for me, you know, and everybody makes their own choices of who and how, you know what I mean? But I know I'm not alone, you know, and people can hurt, you know, people can really hurt, but I never feel alone. I never feel alone. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, it is so important. So, do you have a mantra that you live by that you can share?
You know, I do. And it's from my Aunt Sharon. And she said, oh man, I came to her one day and I was so heartbroken behind something. And she said, baby, life is a bag of tricks. And you know what? That just gave me solace. Life is a bag of tricks. You just never know what you're going to get. You could be going so well, or things could be going so bad. And then all of a sudden, here comes your piece of, your light. Then all of a sudden you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. I think life is a bag of tricks.
Yes.
Great. God is good all the time, but life is a bag of tricks,
I am a witness, actually. A true witness. Yeah, you just never know when life's going to throw you that curveball.
Yeah.
So what's the most important lesson do you feel that you've learned along your journey?
Again, I think it just goes to, that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Whether it's my angels, God, guardian angel, I'm not alone in this journey. When I'm by myself, I'm not alone. And I'm okay, I'm okay.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So, what encouragement could you give someone that's wanting to transition into entrepreneurship, just wanting to take that leap of faith? What advice could you give them?
You gotta believe in what you're doing. You gotta, it's hard. And particularly, if you're used to, and you're used to having that 9 to 5, but I think this year changed everybody's sense of security. Now I feel like people who are not, I'll just say 9 to 5ers as opposed to entrepreneurs or freelancers, everybody who was a 9 to 5er got a reality check in 2020. So what the world is going to look like moving forward is going to be different for everybody. People have had to find strengths. People have had to put their egos aside. People have, there's the sickness part of having to go through, but there's also the economic part. It's like nothing, I've heard so many people say, I never thought I would live to see this. And it's like, we all have a front row seat. We were talking about technology. We've all got a front row seat to see exactly what's going to, go down in this world. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, you just got to find your talents, find that thing that brings you joy. A lot of people say, there's a debate on if you should follow your heart or follow your passions. But I say that, and this is how you base your mantra that your gifts will make room for you.
Yes.
We were talking about that. I think it was Proverbs 18.
Yes.
You gotta, and be practical. You gotta, if you're gonna be in a business, you gotta have a website. You gotta have web presence. You gotta have online presence. So if you're a person that hates computers, doesn't want to deal with computers, it's gonna be really hard for you in this day and age to be an entrepreneur. Everything is all about being online, getting online. So, just be practical. God gives us the gifts and talents, but we have to do the work. It's a partnership. So, yeah. And use Google.
Yes, Google, YouTube.
Oh, honey, YouTube will help you start your business. There's so many things. I jump on YouTube to learn so many things, and it's not that I'm an expert on everything, but I have sense enough to look to the experts.
Yes, exactly. I've learned too so much from YouTube how to implement a remote garage door opener and stuff. So
yeah,
it's just amazing what you can do, But I was going to say, you were talking about the internet, about learning the internet. That is so true. And I'll never forget when I was living in Atlanta, the one bishop, the church I was attending, it was when the internet wasn't quite that popular yet. But he said, whatever you do, I don't care what kind of business it is, get on the internet and start an internet business. And boy, that was such a true statement, you know, because everything is all about online anymore, you know.
Yes, which bodes well for me, because as a person who, you know, designs websites and whatnot, I'm also able to really help people understand, you know what I mean, how it all works, you know, and so it's more comprehensive, but you have to be willing to teach in this day and age, because the people who are going to come to you are going to be the people that can't get online and do it themselves. So you got to be able to teach and be willing to teach and have the patience to teach people how to maintain, you know what I mean, their websites, or even just what to do to stay present, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So important. So Cheryl, Renee, you know, weeks, months, years from now, what do you want people to know about or remember you about?
You know what, even if they just say, boy, that gal could sing. that I was a courageous person. Hopefully that I was kind. I, you know, definitely try not to be malicious, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think ultimately you know, years from now, somebody will say, you know, she wasn't famous, but that girl could sing, you know.
So true, and that you can, honey. My goodness. So what's next for you? What do you want to conquer next as far as your projects and things?
You know, right now, I am very much excited and looking forward to my business, Affordable Room Makeovers, interior redesign. My aspirations are all about getting a television show, showing people how to, on a low budget, enhance their lives. You know, I want to help people. I want to help people feel really good about where they're at. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the richest person in the world, every time you see somebody, you know, has taken their lives and they're multimillionaires and they're so successful, it's just proof that it's not all about money. It's all about peace, and it's all about feeling good about where you are now. So that's what I want to do. I want to help people to feel good about, you know, what they've got, how to get more. You don't have to break the bank. Let me show you these ways, you know. So it's still helping people, it's still being of service to God's people, you know what I mean, and just a different way, and getting opportunity to sing every chance I get, you know what I mean, when people call, and you know, those seeds that I've planted over all of these decades, you know, those seeds. Yeah, I might get a call from somebody who remembers me from 20 some years ago, you know what I mean? It's a seed that was planted, and it just came up when it came up. So I'm just in the flow, and particularly in 2020, I'm not stressing about August. I'm not stressing about 2 weeks from now, you know, which August is 2 weeks from now, hello. But I'm living in the day. I'm living in the moment, and I'm so grateful for a Christian, and we're just doing it together. We're here, and we're just taking it day to day. You know what I mean? I thank God that my family is healthy, and I just pray God's angels around them, and just keep moving forward. I'm moving forward one day at a time, you know, and that's different. I couldn't have said that. In 2019, I was aspiring. I want to be doing this in 5 years. I want to be doing this in 10 years. But right now, after 2020, I'm just taking it day to day and grateful, you know what I mean, for every little thing that I have.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Truly grateful, and definitely taking one day at a time, you know. And you know, my whole purpose, even the whole purpose of this platform, is to encourage others too, and lift people up. That's my whole heart as well, I would have to say. And yeah, so one of the mantras that I feel like I live by is by Maya Angelou, who says that people won't remember what you say, people won't remember what you do, but they will remember how you made them feel. And I think that is just so important.
It is so true.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl Renee, that's all I have for you today. I could just sit here and talk all day with you, actually. So where can people follow you at?
SherylRenee.com. That's Sheryl with an S, SherylRenee.com. I've got all of my stuff on there, where I'm at, what I'm doing. If you'd like to download my 12-song CD, Salute to the Legends, it's free download off the website. I love you. Have it.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Well, that's a wrap with Make Room with Emjae.